So back in the day before fridges, washing machines, and every other possible thing that you can imagine could connect to the internet, there was a time where the internet was a sacred, magical place. A place where every time you logged on, it felt like you were entering Narnia. This was when going to a computer lab at school was the greatest feeling ever, when all the entertainment you ever needed was searching random shit on Google Images. Don't even get me started on MSN Messenger, Newgrounds, Adventure Quest, and for some of you weirdos, Club Penguin, but for me, there was no better site in the world than, of course, WWE.com. WWE.com was the only site I ever wanted and needed. At the computer lab, you best believe that when the teacher was looking away, I was going to the site. But of course, the school board eventually blocked it. The internet was exploding just as I was growing up, and in 2004, just when I thought the internet couldn't get any cooler, with perfect timing, the WWE announced their first ever interactive pay-per-view, a night where every single match on the show would have some involvement from WWE fans. So for one night, anyone could log on to WWE.com and you could vote for things like who was Triple H going to verse for his title, what kind of match will so and so have. This was wild. At 6 years old, I remember begging my teacher on the Tuesday of the show if I could please use the computer in the classroom because I didn't have a computer at home. I needed to vote. Please miss, I have to vote for who Triple H is going to verse tonight. He has to fight Shawn Michaels. And she just looked at me like, what the fuck is a Triple H? The concept was so ahead of its time. As the commercial said, we were in control and it was exciting. A pay-per-view on a Tuesday for some reason where we choose what happens. Now, the one thing about a lot of these events or whenever fan voting is in WWE, they do a lot of stupid stuff sometimes. Like they'll be like, oh, this guy is fighting this guy. What match do you guys want to see? Will it be a street fight? A hardcore match? A no holds barred match? And you're just there like,
corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture.
But honestly, it doesn't matter. I still have a soft spot for these shows and the concept because in the 2000s, this was all mind-blowing. They had 4 million votes for the first ever Taboo Tuesday, and live from Milwaukee, the stage was a monitor and a keyboard. They had a control center on the side where they calculated the votes apparently, and this was the first ever event. And the first ever match was Chris Jericho defending his IC title against an opponent of our choosing. So Jericho comes out and it's hype. It's like, wow, IC title match. And it was time to find out who he's going to fight. Okay, the only issue was they had everyone and their mom as an option for this. So you could have voted for Shelton Benjamin, Batista, Jonathan Coachman, Christian, Rhino, Maven, William Regal, Hurricane, Tomko, Tajiri, Steven Richards, Val Venus, Rosie, Chuck Palumbo, Rodney Mack. Bro, what the? Shout out to the 0.58% of people that wanted to see Rodney Mack win the IC title. I didn't even know he was a real person. I just thought he was a made up guy in SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, but apparently he was a real person. But it gets announced that Shelton Benjamin won the voting. They're standing in the ring, and this is what made Taboo Tuesday and Cyber Sunday so fun. When the show was announced, obviously the first thing in everyone's mind was, it's rigged, it's fake, it's a scam, which I understand. It is wrestling after all. But Jericho said in his second book that he legitimately didn't know who was going to win, who he was going to wrestle, and whatever was going to go on. So Jericho went in that ring with no finish and no opponent and no plan, and him and Shelton called this match on the fly. Oh, and before the match started, the referee casually told Jericho, oh yeah, by the way, you're losing, Shelton's winning the title. So somehow they still had a great match, Shelton won the title, and they did it all on the fly. To me, that is honestly so cool. The fact that they pulled this off makes the event just feel more special, and honestly, yeah, could stuff go wrong? Sure, but it's worth the risk. YOLO. The night had Shawn Michaels getting selected as Triple H's opponent, and the best part was the WWE planned the entire finish around the fact that no way Edge is gonna win. He's the bad guy. They assumed that Benoit or HBK would win, and either way, Edge would mess up the match and be the bad guy and cost either Benoit or Shawn the match. But what happens? Yeah, Edge only lost by 5%. Imagine if Edge won the voting. Eugene beat Eric Bischoff, and since Eric lost, he had to either wear a dress, be Eugene's servant, or get his head shaved. And of course, the fans chose him getting his head shaved, and the poor guy got clapped in the middle of the ring getting his head shaved. And the main event for the first ever show was a certified banger straight out of 1983, a good old-fashioned steel cage match, Randy Orton versus Ric Flair, and there was so much blood in the ring that you would think it was tomato sauce. I love this match. 10 minutes of Flair pretending it's 1983, low blows, eye rakes, atomic drops, chair shots, and then at the end, a picture-perfect RKO. Randy wins and they shake hands, and it was such a fun event, such a fun concept, but yeah, the show did horrible attendance, a horrible buy rate, and many considered it a flop. But it doesn't matter, okay? In my heart, it was fun and I loved it. So luckily next year we did get a Taboo Tuesday 2005. The only issue was the show was kind of stupid. Because some of the choices were so obvious, it's like, why are you even asking us? Hey, it's Triple H versus Ric Flair. I wonder which match is gonna win. A regular match? A submission match? Or a steel cage? Really? Well, since wrestling fans are cruel and we love blood and we love seeing old men die, steel cage won and Triple H and Ric Flair bled so much that you would think that the WWE was having a blood drive. Ric Flair at 56 and 57 years old in back-to-back years was having casually steel cage matches doing shit like this. For what reason, sir? Please go home, collect a pension, retire, just relax. You don't need to do this. You already are a legend. He was 57 years old doing this, but god damn it, did we love it. And the best part was, Ric Flair actually won. Yo, I swear to god, man, Ric Flair wakes up and the first thing he does before even brushing his teeth is just make himself bleed. He is a psychopath. For the main event, it was Kurt Angle versus Cena versus an opponent of our choosing, and there was no way in hell HBK was losing the vote. The Kurt Angle, Cena, and Michaels triple threat match was wild, and I honestly believe that Cena could actually lose here. If Super Cena was ever going to lose, I thought either HBK or Angle would be able to do it. But nah, Super Cena, too goated. And it was a solid show, not bad. The next year though, they were like, no more Taboo Tuesday. Instead, it was Cyber Sunday 2006 because they did not want to do Tuesday pay-per-views anymore. And this was, it was alright. It was a pretty bad show, to be honest. The only good match I remember was DX versus Rated RKO, and that's the thing, in 06, whenever those four got into the ring, it was always fire. So for this match, the fans could choose who they wanted as a special guest referee, Eric Bischoff, Vince McMahon, or Jonathan Coachman, and I vividly remember voting in 06 was just not a good show. The main event was Booker versus Cena versus Big Show, and nobody really cared. The night ended with Kevin Federline interfering, the guy who was only known for being Britney Spears' ex-husband. Screw John Cena. In the main event of a pay-per-view? For what reason? The dumbass fans chose a Divas Lumberjack match over a no DQ match for Lita versus Mickie James. There were just so many random matches that no one cared about, but why Kevin Federline? Vince, what were you smoking? 06 was not good, but 07, I remember this show fondly. This was a show I watched so many times back in the day, and that poster, yeah, I stared at that poster so many times too, cause holy. Cyber Sunday 07 was fun. Fans chose a stretcher match for Ray versus Finlay, but one that looking back that really blew my mind was Randy Orton was going to defend his WWE Championship, and the options were HBK, Jeff Hardy, and Mr. Kennedy. I voted for Jeff, everyone I knew voted for Jeff, but somehow Shawn won, which honestly has me surprised. In 07, Jeff was so popular, but Shawn still edged him out. But yeah, we had Umaga versus Triple H, and the options were street fight, steel cage, or first blood, and either way Umaga was gonna get clapped, and we got a street fight, and Umaga straight up got clapped. The main event was Undertaker versus Batista, and the fans chose Austin as a special guest referee, and usually whenever Austin was a special guest referee, it would go down, somebody would get stunned, there would be some shenanigans, but this match was so good, the feud was so serious and so elite that it didn't really need any of the shenanigans, and Batista finally cleanly beat the Undertaker, and I was so happy. Which makes me ask, back in the day, during the Batista and Undertaker year-long feud, which side were you guys on? It was so split because they were both so popular, but I was honestly more of a Batista guy than an Undertaker guy. But let me know below whose side you were on. The last ever Cyber Sunday was 2008, and it was solid. I mean, nothing special, right? I mean, we had Taker versus Big Show in a last man standing match with I Quit almost winning. The fans chose Jeff Hardy to challenge Triple H for the title. The main event was once again Batista fighting for the world title with Austin as a referee. Nice job, guys. So much creativity. Yeah, 08 was okay. That's the thing. Those were the Taboo Tuesdays and Cyber Sundays, and honestly, nothing of importance rarely ever happened at these shows. It's kind of sad because I remember them being so much more important than they actually were, but when you look back at them, they were just average shows. But that doesn't take away the fact that these shows were so ahead of their time and so smart, and it makes me wonder, why the hell do they not do them now? It's such a fun concept, and if every year we still had a Taboo Tuesday or a Cyber Sunday, as stupid as the choices would be, as basic or whatever, I would still be looking forward to them every year no no doubt. Back in the 2000s, this was something that we did look forward to, running to WWE.com to vote, talking with friends, asking, yo, who did you vote for? What match did you choose? It was a special time because we really felt involved, especially because the internet was such a new idea for a lot of us. They really should bring this back, because if anything, fan votes can lead you to knowing exactly what the fans want. And as average as these shows were, regardless, like I said, they were still fun and just so ahead of their time. In hindsight, yeah, they're pretty average shows, whatever, but it's one of those situations where you just had to have been there. But yes, in the comments, let me know below any memories you guys have of voting of Cyber Sunday or Taboo Tuesday, Batista or The Undertaker, or any other comments you have on the video. Thank you guys for watching. It was a quick one. It just randomly popped in my head like, yeah, remember Taboo Tuesday and Cyber Sunday? So I wanted to talk about it. Thank you guys for watching. It means the world. New video coming out soon. Thank you guys for the support. It's your boy Pav, aka WrestlinGifs, and I'm out of here. Later.